Yeah. Hi, my name is CaseyAkusis, and I am here to give an oral presentation on advice. About 5 years ago, one of my good friends, Jackie, sat me down and gave me, or helped me come to the conclusion by giving me advice about leaving my kid's father. I was in a relationship for 9 years, and I have two kids with him. Uh, when my daughter was a year and a half old, I lost her to domestic violence. It was a very bad relationship in which it was extremely hard to get out. So she sat me down in a kind and loving way and made me write out the pros and cons of staying with him. Um, she's one of my very trusted friends, and I'm very close with her. So the way she delivered her advice by allowing me to come to my own conclusion, I felt was extremely effective. She I know her motives were to help me. Um, Most people had given me advice and told me that I needed to leave him. I needed to leave him. There was so much more behind the advice that she gave me, as she allowed me to draw it out myself by being there along the way. I didn't ask for her advice, but she felt that it was time for me to hear it. Um, she's one of she's still in my life today. She's actually my daughter's other grandma. I currently live in Colorado, and they live in California. And I moved out here 4 years ago, and so I've been clean for 4.5 years. After my decision was made to leave him and come out here, I brought my son with me, his son too, and I've been fighting for my daughter the whole time. She's yet to come out here. I lost her when she was a year and a half old, and she's now 11, so it's a little bit more difficult. And it's not about what I haven't done, because I've completed everything. I've been clean again for like 4 years. It's more about her wanting to come out here. So that was my good advice. She, it wasn't just telling me, it was uh, allowing me to process it too. So my friend Jill lives in California, and this is my bad advice. She she called me the other day and told me that it was time for me to move back to California to be closer with my daughter. What she didn't know is I have been thinking about it. However, she is not an expert. Um, if deciding if for me moving would be the best thing for me or not. Um, she definitely had my best intentions. However, I don't believe that she was looking at the big picture, and that was if I was strong enough, if I was ready. I want to move back to be there for my daughter. However, I don't want to lose myself in the mix. It was the place that I would be moving back to is where I grew up and know everybody. And sometimes you just need to move on. Um, so with God's grace, hopefully I'll be able to stay here. And it looks like my daughter Corey will hopefully be able to come visit me soon. Um, I've worked really hard at my recovery. I'm not sure that moving back is the best thing. However, I believe the way Jill came about it was a very sensitive and loving way, but I don't believe that her advice was good by any means. She really had no room to stand on, except for that I'd be closer to my daughter, and the ways that she delivered it, it wasn't letting me process it. And I believe that advice, telling somebody something and allowing somebody else to process it, is a different story. Um, so she is one of my very good friends, but her advice to me was not very good. I recognize a difference between good and bad advice, and I analyze the person receiving my information. Um, Knowing when the timing is right to give advice, to me, is huge. It's not when we want to tell them; it's when they're ready to hear it. And with that, going back to my good advice, I was ready to hear it, and Jackie made sure that the timing was right. Jill, I was not ready to hear it. Her timing wasn't right, and again, she had good intentions, but the bigger picture, um, I don't believe that she looked at that. Um, I'm a very direct person with and that's one of my strengths, and it's also one of my weaknesses. Sometimes I do not speak before I talk, or I don't. Sorry, I don't think before I talk. Um, and I'm learning with this class that the delivery. It's all about the delivery. However, no matter how I deliver it, it's however somebody perceives it that makes my advice helpful. Um, I think I'm a very trusted person, and because of my ups and downs and hard times in life, I I think that I have some good advice to give. It's all about the time and whenever somebody's ready to hear it. Thank you.